Greetings, one and all. Welcome to the Holy Apple, the Holy Land, holy time here. We're on a Thursday, the 6th day of the month of Iyar, 5780. Super Thursdays, we'll call it. Okay, title of today's class. Gonna need a couple of seatbelts. Be prepared. May 12th, 2020. Be prepared. May 12th, 2020. So it's coming up. It's coming up in about 12 days. This big event. Before we get to this big event, just wanted to add something. Our last class, Messianic Fervor or Fizzle, I was privileged enough to receive this tremendous gift by God. And here it goes. Last week we spoke about that the light of redemption, of freedom, of Passover continues on until the 33rd day of the Omer, otherwise known as Lag BaOmer. I found an amazing thing yesterday when I was learning, and this is based upon the Zohar HaKadosh, the mystical writings. It's in Numbers, Bamidbar, Balotcha, portion of Balotcha. It's on page 152, side B. I'll summarize what it says. Listen to this. The crown of Nisan continues on our heads for 30 days until the second Passover, which is on the 14th day of Iyar, or 8 days from today. So the light of redemption, of being redeemed, continues until Pesach Sheni, which is on the 14th. Last week we brought in sources that the light continues even till the 18th of Iyar, 4 days. But today we're gonna one step further, baby. Listen to this. The Zohar writes that the light of Pesach Sheni, second Passover, once again, for those that were not able to bring the Paschal lamb on the original Passover because they were in a distant country, they were not able to make it there, or they were ill, or they were impure. So there's an amazing opportunity to 30 days later to bring the sacrifice once again. There's different laws pertaining to the second round of Passover. It's called Passover, the second Passover. So the Zohar tells us that the light of redemption continues on. Our first stop is the 14th day of Iyar, and that light continues, the light of redemption, to be redeemed, continues for another 7 days. So that's till the 21st of Iyar. So we got a couple more days that are ripe, that are ready to bring the final redemption. And then the Zohar says, then the gates are closed. So there's like another grace period that God has given us. So I bless myself, all of us here, all of us that are watching. Don't worry, the social distancing is here. Just the cameraman and me. So wish all of us that we should have this wake-up call to really take advantage, push ourselves 1 step, 2 steps forward. That is a great thing. That is really a great thing. Change, even a little bit. In our times, it's such a hard thing. People are so stuck in their ways. Amazing thing if a person could change something. A couple minutes a day, make a change. God willing. Okay. Now, I don't know if you ever heard this, but there's a hidden number. Shh. This is only privy information here. There's a hidden number, and it's called 33. 33. And we will take a journey now, an unbelievable journey through all types of holy books, of all types of sources, and we will see this magical number 33 and what it means for all of us. So let's begin our journey. We have, during this time between Passover and the holiday of Shavuot, we have a 32-day mourning period. There is a dispute amongst our sages when these 32 days happened. But they all agree that it was a period of 32 days. During the 49 days of the counting of Sphira, there was a 32-day period of mourning, mourning. And what are we mourning about? 24,000 students of Rabbi Akiva passed away during these 32 days. If you do the math, it comes up somewhere 700 and some students every single day. Imagine that. I mean, I know that there's a lot of, there was like a U-Haul truck in New York full of bodies. I know it's a lot of backload in different parts of the world now because of this C virus. But I mean, this is a lot. Every day, 700 and something students that passed away. That 32 passes, and then we come to the magic number of 33. On that day, the students of Rabbi Akiva stop dying out. And not only that, there are 5 new students that Rabbi Akiva anoints on the 33rd day of the counting of the Omer, which is the 18th day of Iyar, which this year falls on May 12th. Not only that, you might ask a question, what are we celebrating? We know that didn't Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai pass away on the 33rd day of the Omer? What are we celebrating? Moses, when he passed away on the 7th day of Adar, it's a mourning, it's a fast day. Many people fast till this day. However, if you look at the two cases, very different. In the case of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the day that he passed away, 33rd day of the Omer, he revealed through his scribe, Rabbi Abba, he revealed tremendous secrets of the Torah, known to us as the Zohar HaKadosh. On the other hand, when Moses passed away, there were 3,000 laws. There's, in the Tractate of Temurah on the 16th page, there are a few opinions. We'll go with the 3,000 laws that were forgotten during the mourning period of Moses. So we have totally opposite situations. We have 2 sages that passed away. However, the outcome was tremendously different. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, when Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai passed away, there were revealed to us tremendous secrets of the Torah. It was a tremendous day of happiness. On the other hand, when Moses passed away, not only did we lose our leader, but we also lost many laws were forgotten. People were so distressed and depressed that they forgot a lot of the laws that we had received from Mount Sinai. Okay. Anyways, most people out there know about this, but today we have the privilege, the free gift from Hashem, from God. We will see a parallel journey. And then we will connect the dots. The parallel journey is, there is another 33 in the Torah. What's that? 33? I thought it was just the story of Rabbi Akiva and his students and Rashbi, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. No, there's another journey. Let's go. Let's take our first step to this journey. Moses dies on the 7th day of the month of Adar. This is brought down in the very prestigious work. It's called Seder Olam Rabbah on page 21. I'm just summarizing it. Moses passes away on the 7th day of the month of Adar. And we all know, it says in the Torah, in the end of Deuteronomy, in the 34th chapter, it says there that the Jewish people mourned Moses for 30 days. What happened after that? We know if you continue on the order of the Torah, the book of Joshua. Joshua tells the Jewish people, listen, prepare yourselves, because in 3 days from now, so we have 30, and 3 more days, on the 33rd day, from the time of the mourning of Moses, we will enter the land of Israel. We're going to cross over the Jordan River, and we're going to go into the land of Israel. So we have, so to speak, we have 32 days of mourning Moses, 30, plus 2 more days where we prepared ourselves for going into the land of Israel. On the 33rd day, which was the 10th day of the month of Nisan, the Jewish people, with Joshua leading them, enters the land of Israel. Crosses over, there's miracles, crosses over the Jordan. That same day, they get into the land of Israel. Hello, how you doing? People weren't too happy to see him. The nations that lived here were not too thrilled to see the Jewish people coming in. There was no red carpet treatment here. So, the Jewish people walk approximately 60 kilometers in one day. Now don't forget, we have women. I know that there are some women that are in good shape, but I don't know how great shape they were back then. Plus we have kids. So there's a lot of, it's a whole nation here of millions of people. And they were able to make it. There was a miracle. And the same day that they came into the land of Israel, which was the 10th day of the month of Nisan, they entered the city of Shechem, what the Gentiles call Nablus. So we enter, and then if you open up your book of Deuteronomy, you'll see there in the portion of, actually 2 portions, you could look it up, in number 1, Re'eh, and also in Deuteronomy, Kitavo. In both of those places, you'll see that there were 3 commandments for the Jewish people on that day, the 10th day of the month of Nisan, which was the 33rd day after the mourning period of Moses. So, number 1, the Jewish people, the tribes, 6 tribes went up on Mount Gerizim, 6 tribes went up on mountain of Eval. In the middle, in the city of Shechem, was the ark. Around the ark were the priests and the Levites. And there they gave 11 blessings and 11 curses. That's the first commandment. The second commandment was, on the mountain of Eval, the Jewish people had to erect a altar on the mountain of Eval in order to give thanksgiving to God. Because when a person comes, think about how many great people, much greater than we are, never made it into the land of Israel. Just to name 2, Like how about like Moses and Aaron? Those are pretty big hitters over there. They did not merit to come into the land of Israel. So a person has to be thankful and bring up a sacrifice to God. That was the second commandment. Third commandment was to once again give the Torah. Hey, say what? You know, there's an expression in Hebrew, Haiti baseret hazeh. I already saw that movie. Didn't we see on Mount Sinai 39 years ago, right? We were in the desert for 40 years. Didn't we see this movie that the Torah was given 39 years ago? Like, we don't have Alzheimer. Well, I don't remember. What was that Torah about? Like, what's going on over here? So there's various opinions what was given. Some say the whole Torah was once again given. Why? Because the Talmud tells us there is no Torah like the Torah of Eretz Yisrael. When you come into the land of Israel and you learn and you receive the Torah takes upon itself an entirely new look. It becomes actually something very tangible. We become a nation. As the Zohar writes, the Jewish people are considered to be a nation only in the land of Israel. And we say that in our prayers every Saturday afternoon during the afternoon service. Umi ke'amcha Yisrael, who are like the people of Israel, Goy Echad, they are a nation in Israel, Ba'aretz. When we are outside the land of Israel, there are communities, there are Jewish communities. But the nation of Israel, Am Yisrael Chai, the people of Israel live, that is only here in the land of Israel. So the Torah takes upon a totally different, new look. Here there's an army, here we fight, here there's special commandments. The Torah takes on an unbelievable new facelift. So, as I said, there are opinions. What exactly was the Torah that was given again? There are opinions from the entire Torah was given once again in the land of Israel. There's an opinion that secrets of the Torah, sounds familiar, from Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai on the holiday of Lag BaOmer. The secrets of the Torah, Joshua revealed to the Jewish people on that day when the Jewish people entered for the first time as a nation the land of Israel on the 10th day of Nisan. There's another amazing opinion. This really doesn't have to do with our class, but I have to say it because it's just so tremendous. I have to get it out. Rabbi Levi Yitzchak of Barditchev says an unbelievable Torah. He writes this. He writes this at the end of the Yitro, when we receive the Torah. Listen to this. Rabbi Levi Yitzchak of Barditchev, a great Hasidic master who lived 200 years ago, he says, what is this Torah that, didn't we just receive the Torah? So what was the Torah that was given on the first day that we entered the land of Israel? He says an amazing thing. We know the first Rashi the commentator, the greatest commentator on the Torah, on the Talmud. He tells us the first Rashi in Genesis, he tells us, why does the Torah tell us about creation? You know why? To tell us that the entire world belongs to God. God created it, and God chooses who to give and take away land from. So God, who created the world and all the land, decided to give the Jewish people the land of Israel. So he took it away from the 7 Canaanite nations and he gave it to the Jewish people because he rules the world. He created, he's the all copyright is registered to God. He decides for a time being 7 nations of Canaanites. There was a reason why they were here. We're not getting into that now. And then after a certain period of time, they're out. Jewish people are here forever. So, listen to this great line. You know, you hear politicians if you, I mean, I could not do that. To hear a politician, I would have to not eat for 2 days because I don't want to vomit. But if you ever listen to them, or if you ever heard them before, when they discuss the land of Israel or the Arabs, they never say that the land of Israel belongs to us because God gave it to us. They don't use that terminology. So, listen to this beautiful Rabbi Levi Yitzchak in his book Kedushat HaLevi. Excuse me, it just came back to me. It's not in Yitro, it's in the portion of Kitavo. In Deuteronomy, Kitavo. That's where it is. Okay, he says the amazing thing. The first minutes in the land of Israel, the first day in the land of Israel, God sends the Jewish people to the city of Shechem. By the way, the city of Shechem is considered to be the center of Israel. So he sends the Jewish people, the whole nation, in the center of Israel. And there, you know what Torah we received? That the land of Israel belongs to the Jewish people. That was the Torah that was given that day in order to make it perfectly clear to the 6 nations that remained. One ran away. But there were 6 nations that remained here in the land of Israel to fight against the Jewish people. The first lesson that they must learn is that this land is our land, this land is our land, this land is our land, and only our land. You might have heard that song before. Lee definitely heard it. Yes, this land is my land, and it ain't yours. So that was the Torah. All the verses that connect the Jewish people to the land of Israel, that is what was given to the Jewish people in 70 languages, right? The Torah tells us, the Talmud tells us that in the city of Shechem, the Torah was given in 70 languages. Why do they have to know? What is the deal here? No, we want to make sure you got it. Comprende, muchache? Yeah, we want to make sure, verstehst, in every language, that they get it, that the land of Israel belongs to the Jewish people. That's an amazing, no extra charge for that piece of information. Okay, let's get back to our magic number 33, the hidden number. We see so far a tremendous parallel. We see 32 days of mourning in the time of Rabbi Akiva for students that died. And then we see the 33rd day, a joyous day. Torah is revealed. We see 32 days of mourning for Moses, and the Torah is forgotten. 3,000 laws are forgotten during those 32 days. Coming into the land of Israel on the 33rd day, a tremendous day of joy. We entered the land of Israel. We'll get into that as we go on. Tremendous day of joy. Celebration. And what? Secrets of the Torah by Joshua, or the Torah once again given in the land of Israel. The Michtav Eliyahu, Rabbi Eliyahu Dessler writes in his classic work, Michtav Eliyahu, that what took him years to understand outside the land of Israel, the same Torah, when he came to the land of Israel, he understood it in a matter of weeks. The same Torah, it has a tremendous facelift when it comes into the land of Israel. So, any way you slice it, once again we have exactly the same process: a mourning process, a joy on the 33rd day, a day of joy, and receiving the Torah. Once again, different angle of the Torah, secrets of the Torah. That's at the end of the process. In the world, let's look at the number 33. Besides that, I know there used to be an ice cream company that had 33 flavors. Forgot what it was called, but there was some kind of, it started with a B. I don't remember. But it was 33 flavors. Today, you go to Baskin & Robbins, I think they have like 60, 70 flavors or something. But, when I was a kid, there was these 33 flavors. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. We don't want to get you all, you're going to run to your freezer some ice cream. 33 represents, in the Torah, of course, because everything, our source is the Torah, but it's interesting, as we will see, how perfection, wholeness, completeness is represented always by the number 33. For example, in our vertebrae, how many bones do we have in our vertebrae? Check it out. We have 33 bones in our vertebrae. In order to be a complete person, we have 33 bones in our vertebrae. Number one. Number two, 33. According to many books, we'll just name a few. Number one, the Kedushat HaLevi, Rabbi Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev, at the end of the portion of Vayetze. Rabbi the Kabbalist, today, one of the leading Kabbalists in the land of Israel, is Rabbi Hillel, Yaakov Hillel. He writes this in his book on page, the book is called Adagal Lazeh, Until This Monument, on page 8. It also could be found in the following books, same concept, just by different authors who were privy for this information. Tokfo Shel Nes, the book, page 127. And last but not least, the Imrei Noam on page 127, the holiday version. Completeness, wholeness, perfection, 33. Listen to this amazing fact. Pharaoh has a meeting with Jacob. They get together. First time. Pharaoh takes a look at Jacob and he says, "Hey, Jacob, how old are you, man?" And Jacob says a very interesting statement. He says, "My years have not reached the years of my father." It's an interesting, someone asks you a question, and instead of giving a straightforward answer, "My years have not reached the years of my father." What does that mean? Isaac, Jacob's father, lived 180 years. We know that Jacob passed away at the age of 147. Do the math. 180 minus 147, 33. What separated Jacob? Jacob is bummed out. He meets Pharaoh, and he knows that he's going to pass away. He knows that he's going to pass away soon. And he knows that he's not reaching the years, the perfection of his father. And what separates Jacob from perfection? 33 years. 33, the hidden secret magic number of perfection. That's what separated Jacob from perfection. That could be found, the conversation between Pharaoh and Moses could be found in Genesis chapter 47, verse 9. Okay, now check this out, amazing. If you look in chapter 33 of Genesis, it's all by chance, right? Ain't no chance. Just happens to be. If you look at chapter 33, it's a monumental time. We see the separation between Jacob and Esav. We see the separation. And why is that? 33rd chapter. Because as like everything else, Gentiles have stolen from the Jewish people this concept of 33. Let's look a little bit into the world and we'll see this. Amazing. You look at Jewish holidays, you'll find them. You'll find similarities. You'll find that they were copied by the Christians. You'll find that the Arabs pray 5 times a day, baby. Yeah? Allah Akbar. That's a funny number, 5, no? Like high five. Can't do those anymore. Maybe there's going to be the elbow 5. Why do they pray 5 times? Oh, very interesting. You know, the Jewish people, on the holiest of holy days, they pray 5 times. We Arabs, we Muslims are more holy than the Jews. They pray once a year, 5 times. We do it every single day, 5. Give me 5. Okay, so let's look at this. Because everything in life, every coin has 2 sides. And every principle of the Torah has a side of holiness and a forgery of trying to be a look-alike, to copy the Jewish people. So it's the impure side. It's a copycat. You know, today you have these, we have the Jews for J, and it's all, it's all a copycat. Everything is a copycat today. So let's look at the final interesting information here in life. Okay, number 1. In the Vatican, there are 32 archways with a giant obelisk in the middle. Do the math. 32 and 1. 33. The Vatican is trying to steal the holiness, that special magic number of the Jewish people, 33. The Pope's cassock, coat, it has, you guessed it, 32 buttons on it, and the head of the Pope is considered to be number 33. The Holy of Holies, the Pope. The United Nations flag shows the globe divided, you got it, into 33 sections by olive branches. The UN. JC was crucified, you got it, at the age of 33. Look at me. JC, I've reached complete. I'm completeness, wholeness, perfection. 33. Yes, I'm the Son of God. God forbid. Bilam. Bilam was a spiritual giant. It says in the Torah that there was no one as great in prophecy as Moses, but there was somebody amongst the nations on the level of Moses. Who's that? Bilam. You got it. How many years did Bilam live? It says in the Tractate of Sanhedrin, page 106, side B, you got it, 33 years. All these impure, evil sides trying to compete and steal the holy, the Jewish 33. Last but not least, Freemasons. What is the highest degree a Freemason can achieve? They don't have a lot of symbols, but one of them is the 33rd degree. That is the highest honor bestowed upon a Freemason. Everything, number 33, being stolen by the nations of the world, by the religions. By the way, I almost forgot this one. Can't leave the Islamists out of this. The Islamic prayer beads have, of course, 33 beads in them. Okay. So, summary so far. What do we have? Number 1, we have a parallel between the 33-day period of mourning for the students of Rabbi Akiva and the joyous holiday, the 33rd day. which is a turnaround, total turnaround of times. It's a day of joy. It's a day of receiving Torah, secrets of Torah. That's one level. Second level, we have a 30-day mourning period for Moses, plus 2 more days. On the 33rd day, the Jewish people stop their mourning, and it's a day of celebration. We go into the land of Israel, and once again we receive the Torah, or secrets of the Torah, on the 33rd day. So we see a tremendous connection, a spiritual connection between, number one, the period, the 33-day period of the Omer, that's between Passover and the holiday of Shavuot, the land of Israel, and Torah. We see this connection on the secret number of 33. Okay, that's our first step. Our next step. According to the Arizal writes in his book Shara Kavanot on page 87. He writes there an amazing secret. Shh, don't say it too loud. I will share with all of you, we'll share you this secret. Let's look over here. Are we good, Lee? Okay. We have a verse in Exodus. These are the laws that God placed before them. Obvious question is, we could have said the sentence without the word before them. These are the laws that God gave to us. What is this before? The Arizal, with a tremendous secret, he tells us, listen to it closely. We have the word of judgment, right? It says, these are the judgments, the laws. This is strict judgment. And there's something before. So Arizal gives us the secret information, the following. When you take the name of God, the name of Elokim, of course, instead of a kuf, there's really a hey, but it's a holy name, so I didn't write, of course I did not write the hey. So, when you take the word Elokim, which represents in the Torah a name of God's judgment to the world, of judgment, of punishment, it comes up to the numerical value of 86. Okay. Now, what do we want to do? When you're being judged, what do you want the judge? Please, judge, have mercy on me, right? So how do we turn God's judgment and punishment into mercy? So the Arizal comes with an amazing way to do things. How do we do it? We go before. We take letters before. So now, in the word God, Elokim, there are 2 letters that we can't take a letter before. For example, what's before an aleph? Nothing, an aleph. So the aleph will remain here. What else can we not do? Do we not have a letter before? We have the final mem. What's before the final mem? A mem. It's the same numerical value of 40. So we have these 2 letters, the exterior letters of aleph and mem. We'll put them now on the side. They come up to the numerical value of 41. Aleph 1, mem is 40. Okay, now let's go back to the letters here. The letters are, once again, don't be fooled by this kuf. It's really a hey. So then we have the letters. We have the letter of lamed, letter of hey, and the letter of yud. We have it down here for you. It's easier to see over here. I've taken these 3 letters that we have in the middle. This is the main core of God's name, of judgment, of punishment. Now we take these three source letters, and as the Arizal said, you have to go back one. So what comes before the Lamed? The Chaf. What comes before the letter Hey? Daled. What comes before the letter of Yud? Tet. So if we take the three main core words of God's name, Elokim, judgment, punishment, and then we go back, we take a step back, one letter before that, we come up to this name. Name is Kaf Daled Tet, a holy name of God. If you do the numerical value, it's 20, 24, 9 is 33. Very interesting. Again, the number 33. So, if we now take the exterior letters, the Aleph and the Mem, they equal 41. That's here, right here, 41. And we take the inner core letters, which equal 33. 33 plus 41 gives us 74. The Arizal tells us that this name of God, which means putting the letters Aleph, Mem, letter Kaf, Dalet, Tet, if you put them together, they equal 74. One is 33 and one is 41. It's based on a verse, have faith in God. Until. The word until is Ayin Daled 74. The Arizal says that when a person has, thank you, Lee, when a person has faith in God, we are able to turn strict judgment and punishment into mercy and light and happiness. So the Arizal, based on this, the Arizal is telling us an amazing thing here. That it's not haphazard that on the 33rd day of the counting of the Omer, it's not haphazard that everything turned around. For 32 days, the Jewish people were suffering. Every day, more than 700 students, gigantic Torah scholars, were passing away every single day for 32 days. And everything turned around on the 33rd day. All of a sudden, the students stopped passing away. All of a sudden, 5 new students are anointed. One of them was the Rashbi, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. One of them was Rabbi Yehuda Bar Ilai, the greatest of greatest scholars. The oral law stems from all these 5 students of Rabbi Akiva. That took place on the 33rd day of the Omer this year, May 12th, 18th of Iyar. And once again, on that, not only did it turn around that the students stopped passing away, and we have new leaders for the Jewish people, we also have tremendous secrets of the Torah that are revealed. So it's a tremendous 360 whammy of turnabout of events. We came from mourning and crying into tremendous, tremendous joy. All of this is done by the 33, the God's name of 33, and if we take all the letters together, adding on the exterior letters, it comes out to 74. Now, what was the tremendous faith here? Think about this. Today, we don't have to go far. You open up a newspaper, if they exist still, or you turn on your computer and you watch the news, and you're saying, wow, look at these. I thought that God worked for the religious Jews, but look at all these Jews. They're probably suffering more than other people. Look in New York. Look at the statistics. You could go to an amazing site. It's called World Odometer. Amazing site. If you want to know how many air conditioners were bought the last 3 seconds, you go onto that site. They tell you, they tell you everything in every category imagined. So they also have a every second calculation of this coronavirus. So you look in New York, it's like, whoa. It's like, what's going on over here? 6,000 people in New York. I mean, no one comes close to these New Yorkers. And then you look in the religious newspapers of Jews, you see all these rabbis, and every day, unfortunately, there's a plead. Look at all these orphans left. The father, the mother is gone. You look in the cities of Israel, you see how hard it hit this coronavirus, how hard it hit in religious areas. So a person could stand up and say, you know what? I'm going to throw it away. I don't believe anymore. I mean, these are the people. These are the all-star team. These are the dream team. You know, the guys with the beards and the side curls and the long hats and the coats. These are the all-star dream team of the Jews. Look what's happening to them. There is no God. Think about it. 24,000 students of Rabbi Akiva, more than 700 a day, bite the dust. Not one is recorded. Not one person in that generation is recorded saying, listen, takes his kippah, his skull cap, throws it in the garbage. I'm giving it all up. I don't believe. Where is God? That's an amazing statement of faith. This is not faith of books. This is real life. Amazing thing. So that faith paid out. That faith paid. And on the 33rd day, because of their faith, we said that with the name of God that represents faith, the 74 name of God switched everything around. Now let's look. Let's look at the parallel of this. Once again, we're going to see hand in hand with Lag BaOmer, the 33rd day of the Omer, hand in hand is the land of Israel. And if you think about it, very interesting that two holidays of celebrating Israel's independence, both are in the month of Iyar. One is Day of Independence, which was yesterday, the 5th, and on the 28th of Iyar is the Six-Day War celebrations, when we liberated Judea and Samaria and many, many other areas of the land of Israel. So let's look at it again. Let's look at the parallel to Lag BaOmer, is the land of Israel. What did we have? We had 32 days. We had 32 days of what? Of a mourning period. And during that mourning period, okay, the Jews are thinking the whole time, they're thinking the whole time, listen, we're going to the land of Israel. You know how much faith that took to go into the land of Israel? They had heard from the spies that there is no chance that we can conquer the land of Israel, liberate the land of Israel. No chance, because there are giants that live there, and they live in fortified cities. And we saw ourselves as grasshoppers. Grasshopper, you may leave the shrine when you are able to snatch the pebble. Where are you, Carradine, today? So, it's an amazing thing over here. On the Jewish people are thinking, oh my God, the day is coming. The day of reckoning is coming. How are we going to go into this land of Israel? Seems like going to be a slaughter of us. With tremendous faith, the Jewish people, with tremendous faith in God, they go marching into the land of Israel. Imagine, there are 6 nations that live here. Not one group of people that don't belong here, but 6 nations that lived here. They had children here. They had grandchildren here. They had great-grandchildren. Great, keep on going. You think, and they were offered to leave. Joshua sent them telegrams. Listen, if you want to make peace and leave, leave. We won't touch you. 6 said, no way, baby. We're going to fight to the end. Think about that. The Jewish people are walking here into a possible bloodshed, theirs. But with tremendous faith, they walk into the land of Israel. And after this 32-day of mourning period, everything is turned around. On the 33rd day, we walk into the land of Israel, and everything is turned around. It says in various books that, number one, through the merit of Joshua, the laws that were forgotten, the 3,000 laws that were forgotten during this mourning period of Moses passing away, they began through the auspices of Joshua, through his holiness. The laws became, once again, they started remembering the laws, a tremendous turnabout. On the 33rd day, we received the Torah. Once again, we discussed what parts of the Torah, secrets of the Torah, the same thing. How did we do it? We had tremendous faith. We had tremendous faith in God. We walked into this land, though we knew that we were outnumbered, though we knew that there was a majority, 10 out of the 12 spies said we have no chance. So we have a tremendous turnaround here. The Jewish people come into their own land for the first time as a nation and begin conquering the land of Israel. The first place that they conquered was 18 days later, on the 28th day of Nisan. They conquered Jericho. Remember that song? And the walls come tumbling down, down, down. Yeah, the walls came tumbling down in Jericho. So we had a time of mourning, strict judgment on the Jewish people. It ends when we come into on the 33rd day. It ends, and we have a tremendous uplifting period of history that starts on the 33rd day. We come into the land of Israel, the land of wholeness, of perfection, and it's a turnaround. It's all a turnaround because of our faith, as we said in the name of the Arizal. And look at it this way. There's a tremendous source. There's a tremendous source in Tanhuma, in the portion of Mitzorah. Listen to the words. There's a story here that's given. There was a priest, and his job was to look at people would come to him, and they would have a suspicion that perhaps they have various, what they call today, it's not a correct translation, but just for the sake, leprosy. They have various spots could be on their clothes, on their body, on their beard. And he looks at them and he will tell them if they're pure or impure. And according to his judgment, that's the law. Pure or impure. So this priest, he's looking, he's not making any money at this job over here. And he's saying, I'm going to go to leave Israel, the land of Israel, and I'm going to make some money outside the land of Israel. There's a lot of people that do that. So I'm going to do that. But I know that I have a lot of customers here in the land of Israel. I'm going to teach my wife how it's done. Hey, Sarah, come over here. So the priest calls over his wife and he starts giving her a 101 a course for dummies for the laws of leprosy, leprosy for dummies. And he explains to his wife. You see, when God created a person, he explains, every hair on a person's body, think about it, there's a lot of hairs on a person's body. Your arms, your chest, your legs, your head, your face. There's a lot of hairs. Every single hair, when God created man, there is a fountain, a source that provides nourishment to keep it going. Every single one little hair on your body, which you don't recognize, there's so many, has been given by God a source of life, nutrients, in order to keep it alive. And then he explains, if you see that it's changed colors, that means that the source, the spring, has dried up. That's a sign of impurity. His wife says, time out on the court. I can't believe this. He says, what's wrong? He says, let me tell you something, honey. Listen to what you're saying. You just explained me for the last half hour that every hair on a person's body has a source that is watched and guided by God Almighty. Now, you're a person. How many hairs do you have? If one hair has divine guidance, think about it. You probably have millions of hairs. You don't have divine guidance? God cannot give you sustenance in the land of Israel. He got to go outside the land of Israel. The guy was so embarrassed. He says, well, honey, you're right. You know, they say that the wife is always correct. So, in this time, it's really true. How he stayed in the land of Israel. Land of Israel, as King David says in Psalms, reside in the land of Israel and see faith. The whole base of the land of Israel is faith. Just like when they came in the times of Joshua, against all odds, 6 nations that have lived here for generations. They're not taking it sitting down. They've already said that they're going to fight to the finish. But they come, the land of Israel, the symbol of faith. Jews throughout the generations came here at all costs, gave their lives, died on the way. The land of faith. The land of miracles. Another case of the land of Israel and faith. Last one. This one is brought down in the Shmot Rabbah, chapter 52. Amazing case. Students of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, alias Rashbi. One student, it was hard times, and he said to his friends, goodbye, I'm going for a while to try to make some money outside the land of Israel. Might sound familiar, right? People always thinking that they're going to make money outside the land of Israel. So he goes, and he comes back, and he's a big hit. All his friends come out, they see, they didn't have cars back then, but imagine if they did, he pulls out his Ferrari, and wow, where'd you get that? Yeah, I went a couple of months, I was working with my green card outside the land of Israel. Wow, so all of a sudden, the students are, wow, maybe that's great. And all of a sudden, all the students of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai in the land of Israel are thinking, Yalla, let's hit it. Let's hit the road again. We got to get on the road again. Let's go. So they take off. And they're packing their bags. Oh, bad luck. Who comes by? None other than Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Where are you guys going? Going? We? Going? Oh, that bag, suitcase. We're going to outside the land of Israel. Outside the land of Israel? How can you do that? Well, you see, our friend Moshe, he struck his luck big in the outside land of Israel, and we want to be like him. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said, what? You're going to leave the land of Israel? He says, look, and in Meron, where Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is buried, in the valley in Meron, he says, valley, fill yourself up with golden coins. And all of a sudden, there are golden coins in the valley. And he tells his students, you want money? You don't have to leave the land of Israel, it's right here. But know that if you're going outside the land of Israel for money, know that you will lose your share in the world to come. You will receive your reward with that money. That will be your reward, and you have nothing left for the world to come. So, folks, that is our first part. You stay with us, God willing, next week. and we will continue. So remember, so far we've had the great connection between Torah, the land of Israel, and this holiday that's coming up in 12 days, Lag BaOmer. We have this triangle, beautiful hat trick connection. So be with us next week.